Hello, fellow tubers, and welcome to another one of Dr. Jet's instructional videos, totally unscripted and unedited, on how to build the Dona FRP outrigger. Before I go any further, let's talk about outriggers in general. For the sake of this build, I'm assuming you've already built a few things like this because, let's be real honest, outriggers are not for beginners. They require a lot of fine-tuning and expertise. They can be temperamental unless everything is 100% perfect. So in these builds, I'm going through a lot of things fairly quickly and assuming you kind of know what you're doing. So last episode, we talked about making the ride plates for the sponsons. And I showed you how I glued the ride plates together, so I got them shaped evenly, and here they are. I've sanded a bevel on the trailing edge so that we get a real nice, sharp, clean break there. So what I'm going to do is, you see I've put tape on the ride surface side. That's so when I epoxy these things on, I don't get epoxy on this face. So what'll happen is I'll mix up some epoxy, smear it on, put it together, and then like this one, I'll kind of adjust it to where it's just right, tape it on front and rear. And then what I'll do, once it's all together, I have a glass light table that's perfectly flat. I'm going to take this onto the light table and we'll set it down on the table. Now, because I may not have sanded this 100% perfectly flat, but because these are, I'm only going to put enough weight on it just to keep it from, doing this number. So we'll weight that thing down, let it cook off, and bingo, we'll have our ride surfaces done. A couple other thoughts that came to mind. I talked about how the motor mount was just a wee bit crooked and I didn't like it. It was tacked together with CA glue. Lacquer thinner will dissolve CA glue and it won't touch this G10 fiberglass. So I just, dissolve the glue and I'll tack it together again with CA and make sure it's square. And then when I epoxy it into the hull, I'll run epoxy down all the joints there and everything will be cool and copacetic. We talked about ESCs. I've got some with the heat sinks glued on, some with the waterproofing already done. My original plan was to run this motor, this Detram. These things are a real good little motor. They're a long can, 3,800 RPM per volt, so it's got torque, it's got speed. It's a gutsy little motor, but my buddy Steve makes these helicopter motors, and these are cool. Now, this Outrunner, I've measured it at close to 3,900 RPM per volt, and this one, I've measured it just slightly over 3,900 RPM per volt. So they should be a drop-in replacement, but this is a far more efficient motor, and they each have air cooling. This end bell spins and sort of flings air out this way and sucks it through here, keeping it cool. And this one actually has a fan built in that blows, sucks in air here and blows it across these cooling fins. So I'll play with both these motors. And that's about it for this quick little video. I will say the next video I'm going to show you is going to be by far the most important thing in building this. Once we have all our parts ready and ready to assemble, that's when we need to get really serious. Okay, thanks for watching this, and I'll see you on the next